This video is very important, maybe the top 20, 30 most important videos I'll ever make. And it is about martial arts and how the body factors in. American martial arts favor American bodies. Asian martial arts favor more Asian bodies. Brazilian martial arts favor a kind of Brazilian mixed with black guy body and certain forms of black body, a low mass, certain body types. Okay, this is key here. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. In terms of martial arts mastery, the top martial arts, the chief of chiefs of all martial arts systems, the king of kings, so to speak, he who is the master, the true master martial arts, the true hero. Okay. Horus will connect to that eventually. But first, let's start off with the body. Page 7, Fighting for Honor. Again, this book is not like my Bible. I extract what is true from it. Martial arts are dynamic and open to variation, yet at the same time they contain fundamentals that can, at times, be relatively stable across time. The Japanese term for this continuity is kata, which refers to the ideal form of an art, as opposed to the personal variation developed by each unique individual in free practice. The ideal form of human martial arts, universal martial arts, if you will, is the falcon son of the leopard. We'll get to that later. That's not in the book. I just added it. Thus, while the student in application may adopt variations on techniques more suited to his or her body, aesthetic sense, or experience, there's often a theoretically immutable point of reference that would be passed on to students. The African martial arts are not as regimented as the Japanese style, but the same principle holds true. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, so we'll stop right there. Okay. Depending on exactly what he means by it. All right. Let me touch on this real quickly. Okay. Well, basically, in this book, I'll put at the end, the West shows an appalling inability to recognize African martial arts in general. I see it that way. The professor who wrote this book, Professor T.J. Dush Obi, sees it that way. Certainly the majority, if not every martial artist that helped him write this book, and there's quite a few of them, there's dozens of them, see it that way. It's a no-brainer, okay? And it's kind of like, how could you not see it that way, right? All right, so let's move on to this section of the video. The African/Egyptian foundation of the Kung Fu and other martial arts, natural animal styles. Okay. This is where this idea comes from. It is an African style. Quite often, I came across a few Asian martial artists, masters, older guys, who basically said that man started off studying animals in terms of how to fight. So the idea of the foundation of martial arts on record goes back to the beginnings of mankind studying animals to understand how to fight with each other. And of course, that starts in Africa. It's a no-brainer. Point number 1. They never did outdo the leopard or the falcon. The African and leopard falcon, they never outdid them. This goes back to Obi and Obey. Obi meaning king, heart, hut, and temple. Pyramid, the pair the eye made. Martial, scrambled, marital. Martial meaning to order. So now let's look at this thing. On my mom's side, her great-grandfather was a Mason who was in the know. Now, I'm not a Mason. My parents aren't Masons. Okay, it was a Mason that was in the know who got to the 33rd degree the hard way. He explored morality on the way up. And because of his insistence on morality, the other Masons didn't truly accept him. And he eventually died a very poor man living at my parents' house when we lived in a different location. Okay? So the swimming pool and so on and so forth. So he explored morals with my mom. Her father was a military man. Her mother was a math teacher in college, something like that. Okay? A college professor. So these people together, none of them individually treated her completely fairly, from what I gather, or taught her completely correctly. But mixing their philosophies together, she was able to extract the morality while in a position of being treated unfairly. Okay, her dad and her mom didn't treat her fairly. The Mason was the guy who was closest to her in her family. So she extracted morality, and she's a National Merit Scholar. Okay, and she graduated medical school. She's a doctor as well. She masterfully, as much greater of a woman than the women of my generation or any other woman I've ever come across. She, other than my grandmother on my dad's side. Okay. She masterfully found her way to my father. This is damn near miraculous, but certainly something like this had to occur for my dad to choose a wife in the first place. So she was a woman of high moral worth when he met her. They have 3 kids on the middle. My dad names me his namesake. I become the master martial artist, the guy who transcends the system. My 2 other brothers basically conform and find their lives in this world at this point. Her 2 siblings, one of them is a doctor. The other one is some sort of a scientist, a rocket scientist, something to this effect. Okay. He works with rockets at some point, and now he does something else or something. Okay. So they're all very educated. My dad's side, his 2 brothers, very educated. One passed away. He was a lawyer, graduated top of his class at UC Santa Clara and went to Berkeley or something of this nature. And the other one is also a doctor. His 2 brothers are big guys. Excuse me. Him and one of his brothers are a big guy. The other one is a small guy. Okay, a shorter guy who more resembles his father. His grandfather was the king of Ares Cult Center, the martial art king. It's very apparent. When I saw his picture, he has this sort of very athletic kind of swinging a cutlass kind of form. Okay. His son-in-law that obeyed him and married his daughter, who was tall, okay, has a sort of Asian kind of form. So what we see is this leopard form, this intense African, I obey God, leopard kind of form, with a very serious look in his eyes. Then this kind of this African Asian looking form, okay, which almost certainly comes with precision. Married, and then married his daughter. His daughter was a tall woman. See, his wife probably was a taller woman, or maybe his father was a taller woman. Then he produces my dad, who's about 6'4", about my height, big, strong guy, who starts moving the direction toward being a brain surgeon and not a martial artist. Then he marries my mother, and it all falls together. My mom has kind of wider hips, she's kind of maybe like 5'7", something like that. Okay. And her brother is tall and lanky, so she has these various genes in her genome. These people, she's moving toward morality and trying to refine her perspective and chooses the most moral man on the planet. Strangely enough, she is a National Merit Scholar and a doctor who doesn't miss very much at that time, chooses the most moral man on the planet. Then I am the namesake. Boom! Okay? And this is from the Royal Martial Art line. Obi means king, heart, hut, and temple. Obi backwards is Ebo. Keep this in mind. This is the martial art order expressing itself one last time in a world that is cheating and not obeying. Obeying the moral code is key. Man, let me just shoot through this because I got to get to that paper still. Okay, so I've gone over this page many, many times. All right. A master of the martial art Diumba who remained true to the accompanying moral code could become a transcendent hero, the most honored of ancestors, who could be called upon for guidance in important matters and could reincarnate among the living while retaining a position among the dead ancestors. Reincarnate, which means, raw incarnation. It's kind of going through your genes. This is how they made it. The genes are receptive to the spirit. So the spirit comes back into the martial art guy. I represent the spirits of every pharaoh before me. Okay? They're reincarnating. They have a position among the dead ancestors. They're in the source of martial art power, the marshalling force of the sun, so to speak. God as the intense, focused, sun-like intensity, but far beyond that force of martial arts, okay, of true martial arts. Horus, son of Ra martial arts. So they never outdid the leopard for this reason. The falcon, who is refining, he's saying, what in my great-grandfather was this force? And how can I apply it more masterfully than he did? It must be the falcon. God speed, light contact. Obi and obey. Obi means king, heart, hut, and temple. The accompanying moral code, first and foremost, is right there in the name. Obi, Oba, Abba, obey the father, the patriarchal line of the leopard. From the leopard, not shoe. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Tell you, I'm sorry. I forgot, I think, what day it was. did give us warning that there was going to be a whole day long power out.
All right.
But I don't know if it's...
Hey, okay, where was I? It's the kind of bullshit. You see how when people don't obey? Right there, right. When people don't obey, I get left in the middle of fucking nowhere with my parents. Okay? Having to say this important message where everybody has a fucking New World Order, Western culture thong on. You see how Western culture is in the way. It's not receptive to God. It's in the way. So is Eastern culture. So every other culture is in the way. They did not raise children that could recognize the Son of God and obey. They failed. My goodness. All right, number 2. So we're going to go with pyramid. Pair I made. Right? Rape a mad. P-Y-R can be turned around to R-A-P. And then A, the alpha, is mad because of how you've paired them. Marshal to order to arrange marital. Marshal. Marital. We'll get to that later. Okay. Well, we're not having fucking time. Thanks a lot to all your pussy-ass fucking cultures for betraying God and being fucking scum. Okay? We'll have to skip over that part. Number 2. The animal's war style, focus, form, message, and what seems to be shared genetic qualities are expressed by the person that has decided to express them. They that express them best by conquering and sparring are the alphas of that animal, with no ill-gotten gains, naturally, mind you. Thus, the animal-headed man depiction. Why do the Egyptians depict them as animal-headed man? Why do Asians kind of mimic the animals when they're doing the animal styles? Okay, because they're trying to come into that idea. All the animals are related to humans. Okay. Number 3, the leopard was only one-upped by the pharaonic archetype, which was established by the falcon son of the leopard, the tail between Horus and Set. Horus is the guy who gets it. Set is way the fuck out of touch in reality, running around like a jackal or something, or stuffing his face like a fucking black pig, boar, or hippo. These are his forms. Or he's a pussy. He's afraid to man up like a deer in headlights. The deer, the jackass. He's making a jackass out of himself in reality. The mule, the snake. He's trying to snake the fucking hero. These are his forms. Okay? For fuck's sake, oh aardvark, fox, wolf-ass bitch. Okay? And he becomes associated with the ancient serpent Apep because his path is using knowledge to snake and not the true spirit of ancestors to marshal on behalf of pharaohs before me and God himself. My job is to marshal. And those who don't listen to me, it's not because of an insufficiency in me. It's because the inability for them to see God in me and obey. Because they have taken on Set's fat ass, lazy ass, cowardly ass, pussy, bitch made, I'm a little jackal pussy bitch forms. What don't you get? They're in one or more of Set's pussy. Cowardly ass bitches, punks. Non-martial artists, craftsmen, dogs. Think about it. The leopard was only one up by the pharaonic archetype, which was established by the falcon son of the leopard. Thus, Leo was poured, leopard, leopard, and the falcon line. Falcon, full kin. Fail if you con, thus the word fail con, phonetics applied, and fail if you follow the con. Fail con, fall con, falling out of grace, the fallen. One must have the true sun eye of Horus, full C on. Con can become C on is Heliopolis, Ionu, Ra's called center. Okay, these are the names the Greeks and them gave to this place, but that's what it refers to. And of course they superimpose their bitch on it. The moon eye is only when there are suitable helpers in regards to reproduction. It is the interaction with the woman with the calm, gentle touch. When one is mad about the rape, they're raping people. Fuck you going through life like do, whistle while I work. When everyone's getting raped, drugged, and killed. You grab that craftsman by, what should be done is that guy should be grabbed by the throat and slit. You are insufficient, you fucking Set weasel. You're not supposed to whistle while you work and act like everything's okay. Throw them on the fucking ground. But I'm making a fuss as controlled opposition. Grab them by the hair. Slit their throat. Controlled opposition is rebellious bitch. Throw them on the fucking ground. Rebelling against God. Not the pussies who sponsor your movement. Think about it. Why the fuck would you want to deny the leopard son, the falcon son of the leopard his rightful place? Because you've put on a Set Apepian thong. A gender-neutral Baphomet fucking tutu and fanny pack. Think about it. Fuck.